Welcome back to the class, everyone. May the 4th is right around the corner, and it looks like CG is trying to make it as just about as special as possible. And one of the ways that they're going to go about doing this is finally giving us a beta for the PC client version of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And it looks really good. So what I want to do briefly before we start talking about some of the inner workings of it is just show you the difference between running the game on essentially a cell phone emulator, an Android emulator, and it runs fine. Like, it's serviceable, it's playable, you can scroll around, there is a minor amount of lag. You click on buttons and you get like this spinning wheel that takes forever, and then I lost connection because I currently have two different versions of this open, so let's just see how this starts up, and then we'll do a comparison for the PC client. In the meantime, for those of you who are wondering how you can get a hold of it, the kind of awkward, sad news is that you can't right now, as it is currently in the beta. They are still working out a lot of the kinks. We will mention some of those as we dive deep into this, but ultimately, from a graphics perspective, this looks really good, and I'm very excited about it. So again, this is the BlueStacks version. This is the emulator that really doesn't show all that much. When we jump in here and when we go and try a battle out, for example, from Jar Jar's current event, again, it looks fine, it's serviceable, it's playable, you can do things with it. Everything takes a while to load, it's a little bit choppy, things come in and out. You get these, like, loading death screens that typically aren't that bad. And then again, yeah, that's the game. It looks like you're playing on an old cell phone, and it's just fine. You also don't get to see that many different options, despite the fact that I'm playing this on like a 36-inch monitor. When I go in and I actually look at my characters, I can only see maybe about 5 or 15 of them in a row or on the screen at one time. Now, when we transition and compare this to the PC client, it looks a lot different. So that is what this is right here, and you can already see the ratios for things are already a little bit too much spread out. And again, I think this is overall a great change. It is in the beta. We should be expecting some of these things to get better over time. You'll notice that the icons over here on the right are significantly smaller than they would be when we would be playing on the BlueStacks version, just to compare. I think that's one of the things that will need to be changed. But overall, how smoothly it runs, it is incredible. Let's go take a look at my collection here. I don't know if I need to see 80 characters all at the same time, but it's interesting to know what it would look like if I could, or even like looking at, like, this is going to change the way that I run my tier videos, and you can probably already tell from me clicking around, this is so wildly smooth. It's not choppy. It doesn't look like it's having to load any of the assets individually. Everything is coming up instantly, and I have yet to see the spinning little wheel of death one time at all. So we're gonna have to relog into this as well again, because I'm only working with one account here, and it's gonna keep wanting to swap back and forth. But wait until you guys see what the actual battle mechanics look like in this new version. It's pretty nuts. So we're back into the game. Again, this is the PC client. Going to the Jar Jar event, just seeing how, again, smooth this run. Let's go back. Let's use the same exact battle as an illustration using my Gungan team. And just the zoom out, how clean that is. Let's try to find one of the cinematics. I was playing around with this in the Jedi Knight Luke event, and it just looks breathtaking. This is so good. Okay, so this one actually didn't have a cutscene in it. I'm not sure if I want to show some of the further cutscene ones. But overall, yeah, let's go look at the Jedi Knight Luke event, just so we don't spoil anything about our good bomb bad general in here. So go to the Journey Guide event, look up our good friend Jedi Knight Luke, and I believe this one has one at the very beginning. Like, this event always looked pretty crisp and good, but it looks so. This just looks amazing. This is the best Galaxy of Heroes has ever looked from a game play standpoint. Nothing ever really lags. Just, you're able to get right into it, take out Vader. I think my CLS is missing some mods here, so this is going to be a little bit more difficult than it should be, but definitely enough to get the general idea for what this looks like right now. Yeah, this is pretty good. just looks amazing. So that is the Jedi Luke event. So we've talked about the graphics a lot. We've talked about the fact that this is still in beta, so they need to fix some of the ratio stuff, and I'll show you what I mean when we go in and actually look at clicking on a character. The mods, there's no reason for this to be this small. Like this stuff, I mean, that's fine. Like that makes sense. Maybe the relic could be just a little bit larger, but if I could, I would just drag this down until it made it about to here or maybe even here, just because there's no reason for everything to be that small. The ratios are definitely off, but again, this is the beta. These are things that they are specifically going to release to a limited number of people so that they can figure out what these things are and how to fix them. Now, a lot of you are probably already going to the comments and asking, all right, how do I get this? At a very bare minimum, just to test it out, if not to actually run it instead of BlueStacks, or maybe even run it for the very first time on your computer. And the answer is you can't right now. There was a portion of time where through the forums, you could go in there and you could request access to the beta before they had originally launched it. That link still exists. You can still go in there and do it. But from what Meathead, one of the community managers, said on my stream is, while the link remains open, they do these in batches, which means if you go and sign up for it now, that doesn't immediately mean you will get access to it. It means you might get put on a list for a second batch if they deem that they need it. Overall, though, it does look really good. I'm not sure. They don't currently have a date for when this is just going to go to the general public. I would not be your first source of information for that when it does ultimately end up happening, so I can't really help you out much there, but that is currently where it stands with all the information we have. Now, if you did sign up for the beta and you're wondering, okay, I didn't get an email yet, like what's up with this? Like, am I getting access? Is this a thing? Did I not get chosen or whatever? Don't panic immediately. What you need to do is you need to log in to your EA account with your EA ID and your email that you can get from EA.com. And once you log in there, you won't see the game as findable when you go to search for it, but it will already be in your library, assuming that you have access to it at all. We'll probably hopefully get more news later on about that. There is supposed to be an email going out to everyone who was chosen. At the time that this is being recorded, that has not actually gone out. A lot of the information that I'm giving you right now is either coming from the forums themselves, or it is coming from comments the Meathead made while he was on our stream, where we were unlocking Jar Jar Binks. We will have more videos for that, by the way, at a later point, especially for the unlocking the event, as there were some of the missions were quite difficult. But at any rate, this is really exciting. This is really cool, and I'm all for it. My big thing when they were originally talking about this was I wanted to see better graphics. I have really not had that many issues with BlueStacks crashing. A lot of people have, but this seems to be taking the resources directly from my computer, whereas BlueStacks or other emulators seem to be capped in general for how much they were allowed to actually give. So getting to see this, it's pretty awesome. One thing that I hope we do also see fixed, and when this goes live and goes out to everyone, is I would like for there to be some type of airplane mode, because right now, if we look in BlueStacks, there is actually a function here on the side where you can click on airplane mode to make sure that, you know, if I'm about to enter a GAC battle and I don't want to royally screw it up in turn meter wise, I have a way out of that. As far as I know, there isn't any special button in the beta to be able to do that, and I would in fact have to cut off my Wi-Fi entirely, which I guess wouldn't be that bad of a thing for most players, but if I'm streaming this, cutting out Wi-Fi is a terrible idea. So I guess that's maybe more of a gripe for a streamer. Most computers do have a way of going airplane mode themselves, so that would fix it for the majority of people. But I guess that is a personal gripe for myself. But thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think. I apologize, I won't be able to answer really that many questions in regards to how you get access to this right now, other than what I've already said. But until the next time, stay awesome.